Like my story?
No, not your story, a story. Since you can't keep your mouth shut long enough for me to read my paper, tell me a story.
I don't think I know any stories.
You don't know any stories?
No.
All right, I'll tell you a story. This is a newspaper, right? It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it, because it entertains me. You won't let me read it. So you entertain me with your bullshit. Tell me a story right now. Go.
Job well done.
What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin, where the war fights start.
Round one.
Let's get this started, people. Let's get this started. Frontline, what it do, my boy? How you been? Listen, I had to come over in the nighttime. It's been a little bit of while. Things have been a little bit hectic here at Round One Sports Talk, but we got to bring the band back together. So what's up, guys? Come on, lock in. You know, we got a lot of announcements. Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah, blah, blah.
Listen, I don't even know how to say it. Like, the words don't want to come out of my mouth. Shakur Stevenson officially signed to Zuffa? What does this mean? I was just on Two Tone's show. I stopped by, talked about the topic, and I want to talk about it here. I also dropped the link in the chat. I want you guys to come up today. We got a lot to talk about, man. A lot. You know, you got Errol Spence Jr., Tszyu. They're about to fight. You also got uh you know, the announcement so far. I kind of hesitate when I announce this, but Jaron Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. Allegedly, once again, negotiations are on Oscar's side. They're good. If the fight doesn't happen, it's because of Jaron Boots Ennis. Come on, man. We see how negotiations fell the first time Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis sat at the table. Virgil Ortiz was offered, I think, was a great amount, $3 million guaranteed. Then we shared the pay-per-view buys and whatever, what number. But Virgil's lawyer, Rick Marinian, was not satisfied. He wanted $7 million. And no matter what, he didn't want to split the pay-per-view, nothing. He just wanted his client, Virgil Ortiz, to be paid $7 million. Okay, guys, let's think about this. Please, before we get all up in arms, we are talking about Virgil Ortiz, right? Virgil Ortiz, the same guy that seems to have an excuse whenever it comes to fighting the top guys in the sport. We've seen this with Virgil time and time again, with Xander, with Sebastian Fundora, with Terrence Crawford, with Jaron Boots Ennis, and the list goes on for Virgil. Of the guys, once upon a time, we felt Virgil should have fought. And a lot of fight fans had Virgil going into the fight with some of the guys I named. Miraculously, he never takes the fight. So what makes me think now? What makes me think somehow negotiations are going to go like they went in the Xander negotiations between Jaron Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas. Virgil Ortiz and his entire team is on the clock. They on the clock. Because just because you came out and announced and said everything's good on our side, bullshit. Bullshit. I don't believe that. And if Jaron Boots Ennis was to take this fight, I would say it would be about 5 months, which would be good. And he can do a quick turnaround from the Xander fight and fight Virgil. In a good world, yeah, I could see that happening. But will it happen? Will it happen? See, that's the problem. I don't believe that Virgil Ortiz's lawyer and his entire team are going to go back to negotiation table with Jaron Boots Ennis if you were asking for 7 in the first fight. What do you think you're going to ask for now? But here's the problem. Now Jaron Boots Ennis is a world champion, a unified one at that. So now the money you were asking for to fight him the first time, you mean to tell me you're going to take less money to fight him now? And I'm supposed to believe that. And that negotiations are going to go through smoothly. If Rick Meridian gets you less money than you were going to do the first fight, you should fire him. And I don't think he wants to let his reputation get tarnished like that. It's hot as hell in this room, guys. I got 2 fans going. This bottle of water, I just want to rub it on my forehead. Listen, it is hot as hell. Satan himself, the devil, walked into my room, sat down on that lazy boy chair I got right there, looked at me, and said, "I'm out of here, round 1." Yo, Satan, where you going? It's too hot in here, he said. Bro, you're literally hanging hell, but this room is too hot for you. He left. He left. I ain't fucking with you, round 1. Bro, it is hot. Like, man, listen. The Sahara Desert, I would lay on that right now and tan compared to this room. But the show must go on. Listen, I don't believe it. I just, I find it hard to believe that now Virgil and Oscar and Rick Meridian there they all fucking holding hands singing Kumbaya and everything's all good on their side. Shit, Ryan Garcia just took to social media not too long ago to call out Oscar De La Hoya and telling him, yo, Oscars, cut the bullshit. This fight is going to happen. But at the same time, Ryan revealed everything in his little video. By calling Oscar and telling Oscar things were already put in place. What things been put in place, son? I'm your promoter. If I don't know of such things, what do you think you're doing, Ryan Garcia? Is it another case of the fighter trying to make the fight himself when he does have the rights to himself? Ryan, weren't you taught that valuable lesson when you try to fight in Japan behind Oscar's back and he put a stop to all that? Didn't you learn from that experience? So the one that's trolling here was actually you. Because if you called Oscar on a short and you published it, I saw it, and you told Oscar the fight's gonna go on with or without you, meaning things were put in place, things are already set in motion, but he's admitting that Oscar didn't know, but while checking him, that stop capping Oscar because you know this fight's gonna happen. But in the same video, alerting you, he actually didn't know. Because if you're telling him things been put in place in motion, why do you have to tell him that if he's your promoter? He would know that. So obviously you're doing things without his knowledge or his consent. Because Oscar owns your ass, Ryan. That's a fact, Jack. Oscar already proved that. You don't fight unless Oscar says so. He gets you the fight. He's your promoter. You ask him for the fights. He gets the fights you ask for. But you need to ask him first, Ryan. You can't just go out and do things on your own and expect, oh, now, you know what, Oscar? I'm over here promoting the fight and you're shooting it down, motherfucker, because I'm not in the loop. Then Oscar says, I got a fax. See, Oscar and then they be full of shit over there. They don't have all their ducks in a row over there in Golden Boy. But it's tough dealing with fighters. So I understand. It's tough dealing with all these kind of attitudes and what they requirements and what they want and needs and etc. I see Oscar, but it goes to show you these fighters try to do shit on their own and they try to say, nah, I've been at the bro. You got to go through proper channels when you sign a contract. You don't own yourself. Watch what you sign. That's why I don't think that the Jerome Busanis fight is going to happen until the day I see them walking to the ring. Not even on the weigh-in. I think some fucking Richard Hitchens shit could happen. Shit, they got all the way to the second weight. Then he pulled out. Hours, I mean hours to the fight. Richard Hitchens pulled out on Oscar Duarte, didn't he? So this fight can be made. It can go all the way to the press conferences, to the weigh-in. I still don't believe it until Oscar's walking out the fucking dressing room, walking towards the ring, and he finally climbs in the ring. It's official. Because I somehow, some way in the back of my mind, Oscar and Virgil are gonna find a way out of the fight. They're gonna find a way out. Bro, Virgil's gonna stump his toe. Something. Bro, I don't believe in him like that anymore. I didn't say anything about his skills in the ring. That's a different conversation. What I feel for him business wise does not reflect what I feel about the guy as a boxer. Let me get that perfectly clear. If we were talking about Virgil Ortiz inside the ring, that's a different animal. That's why this situation, it's really tough for me because why would a man that skilled be afraid to take these kind of challenges? And when they're presented to him, he doesn't take them. Why don't you take less money sometimes just to secure the world title? Now you're the champion. Now you can ask for the kind of money. Why don't you view it that way? Why didn't, like, it's just interim after interim belt and you're satisfied with that? Or is it the truth that I can't see? Virgil, you're good, but you never were that good. And I can't see that because I actually think Virgil Ortiz is a pretty damn good boxer. Strong, ferocious. He's been dropped a couple times, but I still think he's one of the top 154 pounders out there. You can't say the 154 pounders division's top guys without putting Virgil somewhere in there. So he's obviously at the top of the food chain. See, that I'm not questioning that. It's whether or not he has the balls to walk through that door. Now that, my friends, that's what I'm questioning. That right there. Son, do you got it in you to fight these big fights and be scared to lose or win? Virgil, do you want to go down as an undefeated, unaccomplished Mexican fighter? Or do you want to go down as an accomplished fighter? Because time is not on your side, son. And all you're doing, you're you're so fearful of losing that Virgil, that you don't want to take big risks. And you know what's going to end up happening, Virgil? You're going to stay undefeated with very little accomplished in your boxing career. And at the end, your final fights, you're going to lose. You're going to end up losing to a lesser foe at the end of your career. Mark my words. And all this shit you did to protect that zero it's gonna be not worth it. All the world title fights, all the divisions you could have climbed to dare to be great, in the end, it's all gonna go to shit because you're gonna end up losing to some fucking no name. Watch. Watch, Virgil. That's what's gonna happen to you. You have protected that oath all the way into this point. You see yourself at the end of your career, but the biggest challenges are starting to arise, and you're not taking them. I don't think Virgil might fight Sebastian Fundora. I don't see it. I think he'll fight Xander now. Yeah, because he saw Xander lose. So Virgil will try to beat he every time the guy, the top guy beats the other guy, Virgil comes in and fights that guy. That's what he does. He fights their leftovers. And sometimes he beats the leftovers better. He beat Lubin better. He beat Majimov better. So sometimes Virgil comes in, he sees the way they beat him, he adds on to it, goes out there, beats them, and then starts beating his chest. But he never does anything. He never dares to be great. Virgil Ortiz. Good fighter, though. Good, there's a lot of them guys, them type guys out there. Tank Davis. Great fighter, great power, remarkable talent. Well, what the fuck is going on? You please tell me. What the hell is going on with Tank? Right? So it's 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 real subjective, man. Like, unfortunately, man. Let me check this sound right here real quick. I want to check this out. Yo, Frontline, what are you doing? What it do, Frontline?
We're the world's most advanced program.
Hold up. Let me turn that off. I think Virgil stays on. Uh, he might. He might stay on the shelf till then. Um, you know, what does Virgil do if Jaron Busenis says no now? Right? Hold on, guys. Let me hear this. It's real subjective, man. Like, unfortunately, man. I can barely hear the sound. What's going on? Sound right here, real quick. I want to check this out. Is the sound all the way up over there? You guys hear me loud and clear? What it do, Frontline? I think all the sound is up.
We're the world's most advanced program.
Hold up. Let me turn that off. It just must be I think Virgil. All right, it just must be that because I'm listening to it twice or something, I guess. I think. Hold up. Let me turn the mic up like that. How's that sound? Turn the mic up a little. Get the mic going here. Mic check 1 2. All right. So I turned up the mic. Damn, he said. What? What's going on? Let's talk. Okay, what do you got? Kirk offered Boots the fight with Virgil and Latino Night in Riaz. Well, there's been a lot of offers. Turkey has offered, remember when Turkey offered Jaron Boots Ennis the next fight, and Jaron Boots Ennis wanted to fight 2 tune-up fights, and Turkey told them, well, when you're done with the Tom and Jerry tune-up fights and you want the big fight, call me. I'll get you the big fight. But until then, I ain't supporting those other fights. So Turkey was straight up with Jaron Boots Ennis and what he expected from him. He was straight up with him. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to think in Virgil's situation, but I'll tell you what I do know and what I've been saying. What I do know is you priced yourself out in the first fight. Your lawyer got you to go against Oscar, your promoter. Your lawyer and Oscar went on a fucking feud and you got locked out. You coming back with Oscar and the same lawyer to visit the same fight. You think they're going to give you the same offer they denied you for? Or are you going to have to try to negotiate for less money? So if this fight actually happens, I'm curious, how much does he make? Is Jaron Boots Ennis going to put Virgil through that bullshit 55-45 split to the winner? Is he going to try to do that again? Xander was the only fighter to able to shoot down that bullshit that Jaron Boots Ennis tries to put pressure on the fighters type shit. He seems to always want to make wagers. It sparks something in him. He needs that apparently. Oh, you want to bet on it? It makes him want to go out there and beat you. I don't know. Maybe he's that type of fighter, right? So, look, don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Reach down, hit the like button for me. We're trying to get the video up to 50 likes. All right, listen, check it out. I think that Virgil's going to have to take less money. He's going to have to agree to the location that Jaron Boots Ennis wants. Jaron Boots Ennis entering the fight now, he would be the champion. So, I think that Virgil put himself and his team, Virgil further behind the 8 ball in his chances to actually beat Jaron Boots Ennis. He might have to go to Philly. Virgil might have to go to Philly if he wants a crack at those 2 belts. If not, fine, stand on the outside. Go stand on the outside, Virgil, where you always been. Prospect, a gatekeeper. Never a world champion. Yes, good. It's not good enough. So go stand over there while Jaron Boots Ennis tries to enter negotiations with Sebastian Fundora and Josh Kelly after his fight, or to see where I think Sebastian Fundora had already announced his next opponent, in fact, right? So I think he's already scheduled, locked into a date with someone else. So Jaron Boots Ennis is kind of in limbo, but in a good space. He can make a title defense on the 2 unified world titles that he owns. He can clearly make a title defense and fight any of the top guys, or perhaps, on the other number 1 contender in the other belt that he owns. And he has the WBA and the WBO, right? So I don't, I don't see where Virgil gets in. Virgil can get in very easily, of course, right? He's got the big name, his star status. All he has to do is agree to the terms, the money, the location. And yes, we would get the fight. If things were so simple, if shit was so simple to iron out, not like Gerard Bucenas and Xander, now that was simple. That was 2 guys that wanted to fight each other. That was simple. Cut and dry, 50-50, I'll see you there. Xander gave him an opportunity to become the fighter he is today because of Xander. Negotiations, cut and dry, simple. You, me, outside, let's go. What's up with Virgil? Why so much difficulty? Why do you think? Not the same. 2 guys don't want to fight each other outside. One of them is fronting. One of them got to be, right? Because it just proved to you when two guys want to go at it, let's get out their way. Sign right here. Let's go. And the promoters would take over the rest, right? What's the problem? I'll tell you what the problem is. One of you are full of shit. I don't think it's Jerron Boots Ennis. So who's left? See, that's my problem with Virgil, and it's only due in part to his history. I'm only critical on Virgil because of his history, not as so much as a fighter or in the ring. Like I said, that's a different conversation. It's a different conversation. That's Virgil as the fighter, Virgil trying to plan the fights with. That's just too different. He's fighting a fight outside of the ring with all this controversy that has nothing to do with inside of the ring. What he does inside of the ring, it's a different story, Virgil. But I understand that boxing is a business disguised as a sport. And the business part of boxing is to make money first, the fighter second. You understand? So until you get the business part done, we'll never get to the fighting now, will we? So there's nothing to talk about the matchup until I get something to talk about. What does this button do?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Hell yeah!
I was surprised. Yo, listen. I be having some stuff that I be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yo, let's go. Big Virgil was ready to fight Boots in Riyadh season, but Boots said no. Talk about that. All right. Now, that's true. Okay. Here's the problem, right? With sometimes fights. Now, I make no excuses for Duran Boots Ennis like I make none for Ortiz. Okay. If I'm critical to Ortiz, then I can be critical to Duran Boots Ennis. Okay. Duran Boots Ennis was offered several fights. He said no to, even Tszyu. We criticized him for ducking him. Remember that shit? So all these guys are not the same. So Virgil got some shit with him, but Boots does too, which makes the fight getting put together even worse. Now you got Boots that's all bougie right now. His fucking nose is up there like this. He thinks he's on cloud nine. Boots woke up yesterday saying I should be placed higher on the pound for pound list. That's what kind of shit he's on. So it goes to show you that Xander fight truly got made because of Xander. It couldn't. Ed Kern couldn't have had it any easier. Even he said that. Negotiations was like yes, 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 yes to everything. I guess we got ourselves a fight. Simple, easy. When you're dealing with Boricuas, they warriors, they want to get shit done. It's easy to get it done with them. Now these guys right here, yeah, fucking Americans, right? Listen, Duran Boots Ennis does not have to fight Virgil right now. He didn't. I listen. I brought it up briefly when Turkey offered him the fights, and he said, "No, I want 2 tune-up fights." Turkey said, "No, I'm not going to support that. But if you fight Virgil, I'll back that." But Duran Boots Ennis at that time was in a bad space in his life. Outside of boxing, he was going through a bit. He was going through, like, if you didn't know about it, see, my sister's from Philly. She's real tied into Philly. He has other friends that I know that I talk to. And I'll go over there and I'll visit my sister. And I have. And I've talked to guys out there in Philly. Guys that know Ennis, his father, Bozy, work with them real close. And during that time, right after that Philly card that Ed Hearn brought Jerron Boots Ennis and he got him them fights in Philly, right in that time, what you didn't know, privately, Jerron Boots Ennis was going through a transition in his life. Women, money, you name it. These fighters start to get fame, fortune, and they got to learn how to juggle that. And there comes a point in a career, a fighter's career, where they kind of stall out themselves for whatever reasons, like what we're seeing with Tank. Tank got too much outside distractions. He bought his neighborhood, it caught on fire. He's gotten charges over here, charges over here. Too much outside distraction. It didn't allow you to prepare well for the fight at the time when they offered it to you. But we spin that block. We spent it. And we got here again. And Duran Bucenis offered Xander the fight. What did Oscar and Virgil and his team hype out, make social media videos the first time? The fight is this close from being made. We've accepted all terms. Virgil Ortiz and Oscar. It's up to they said the same thing the first time. What happened? Oscar and Virgil end up splitting ways, dropping lawsuits on each other. That's what happened. And Xander had to step in to give the people the biggest fights. Thank you, Xander. Thank you. You see? So, so, you know, I think Jerome Butenis is gonna get all fucking bougie and shit. Yeah, he is. He's gonna feel like, motherfucker, I offered you to fight me the first time. The last time, not the first time when Turkey offered to fight. I'm talking about this last time right here. I offered to you and you spit it back in my face. I don't owe you shit. You're on Boots Energy. He's in the right to say that. Have you ever thought of that? That now Virgil made himself high risk, low reward. You ever think about that? Like, I just think that uh I really think that Virgil put himself in a situation, you know, uh he shouldn't really want to put himself in. Now, the only way the fight happens, I think, he would have to really accept everything that Jerron Bucenis puts on the table. And Ed Hearns and them are going to be licking their chops. And this is because you either called the bluff and failed, or your whole team just failed. Because now there's no way you're the A side on this fight. There's no way you even got a leg to stand on. You can't call where the fight's going to be held. He's the champion. You can't ask for more money. He's the champion. You've never was a champion. He's a 2 division world champion. You can't say that he's selling more. Virgil, you really put yourself behind the 8 ball. What the fuck do you got to sell? Your name? Your O. That O is not valuable. Your undefeated record, Virgil, it's your O, that O that you fight so hard to protect, actually has no weight. It's hollow. It's not like Terrence Crawford's O. That's a 3 division, all 4 belt O. Zero. That O is valuable. He's got 3 divisions. Like, no, his zero. Now, he can sell that to the highest bidder to fight him. Because being the first man to beat that kind of O, but yours is not valuable. What the fuck is Virgil's O? How strong is it? No champion history? It's not very strong if you ask me. Now, if you're an undefeated champion like Naoya Inoue, that O, my friends, that's a powerful O. Naoya Inoue, Usyk's O, that's a powerful O. He can vacate all his belts and still sell himself. The fact that someone's got to beat him, bro, those are powerful zeros. They got weight behind them. Virgil, you're undefeated O? I'm sorry to bust your bubble. That shit has no value. The only thing that you have value is your name. That's it. That O is not valuable. Just your name. You're an interesting fight. A good scalp in the division. That's what you represent. That's all you have. You really think, bro, sometimes you got to take these opportunities when they arise. So the next time you get in a situation, you got the upper hand. You didn't want to go into negotiations the first time, get locked out of the fight because you guys priced yourself out. Someone else came in, then you get offered the fight again. Man, you're not going to be in very good space. Now you're going to have to succumb to everything you didn't want in the first fight. At least in the first fight, if you were to fight Jerome Ennis, legitimately at that point, when he was not a champion, you had room to wiggle. Virgil, you might have been able to call the location, which would have been favored on your side. Shit, you could have called, you had a little bit more money. I see you got greedy, way too greedy, because you're not worth $7 million, Virgil. When have you ever made $7 million in any one of your fight? How about three? Well, just let's start there. When did you ever make $3 million in any of your fights, Virgil? When? I'll wait, right? They offered you three. You said no. Now to fight you for what? There's no way I'm giving you three now. I'm not even giving you what I offered you in the first one. I don't have to. I'm the champion. I could be a dick. 60-40. 60-40 split. That's what you're getting. Shit, you keep talking 70-30. Well, you don't get a fight. You don't get a shot at my belts. You don't like the number now? You priced yourself out the last time, and now I'm taking all the money this time. You're gonna have to fight for peanuts. I'll be a dick. Or don't get the fight. And as a matter of fact, when you don't get the fight, explain that to your fans. Where did Virgil put himself again? Why is this good and you guys think that he's actually going to get the fight? Why? Why should Virgil get this fight? You guys are wilding. Virgil's truly a high risk, low reward. I'm not sure Jerome Ennis wants to do that. I think Jerome Ennis beats Virgil. If they were to fight, I got Ennis in the fight, Jerome Ennis. I think he straight up he beats him. But for what? Why even take that risk at this point? I'm sitting on two belts, waiting for Sebastian Fundora and this dude to finish up whatever. In the meantime, between time, I can fight whoever the fuck I want. Ain't nobody running to fucking ring my bell for a mandatory. So I pretty much got my fucking selection. And Virgil, you put me through hell. I might not want to do business with you right now. You might not be good money. As a matter of fact, no. What will we do? You think Jerron Boots Ennis is going to get criticized for that? You think he is? You think Jerron Boots Ennis ain't never been criticized in his life? He ain't never been chewed out before? Oh, I can deal with that. Sometimes some of these situations are egos. Look at what Errol Spence got going on with one time Keith Thurman. Egos clashing. Errol Spence Jr., when he was coming up, he wanted a shot at the belt. And one time Keith Thurman told him, no, you're not on my radar. You just want a free ride to the top, kid. Make your way up. You're not worthy. When the tables turned, Errol Spence Jr. had all three belts. Guess who came knocking on his door? One time Keith Thurman, asking for a shot at the belt. What did Errol say? I promised myself, under no condition would I ever share the ring with you. Because you didn't want to share the ring with me. And you had a few choice words about me at the time. So now that I'm on top, I will not fight you. What did Errol do? He's been true to his word. Even after he lost the belts, and one time Keith Thurman was a still decent name, they would have made a pretty coin. Errol Spence Jr., still stubborn in his ways, just the man of his word. That's all I see there. He said, I ain't going to share the ring with him. I will never give him that opportunity that he didn't give me. Errol Spence Jr. Some men take that shit personal. Yeah. And when the shoe's on the other foot, they're not so eager to give you to prove a point. See, not like Lomachenko and Devin Haney. Lomachenko did that same thing to Devin, young Devin, 19 years old. Loma vacated his belt just not to fight young. I don't want to fight that kid. You're not on my level. You know what? I'll give you the belt. Take it. I'm going to go fight Theo, another young fighter, which didn't make sense. But Loma just didn't want to fight Devin at the time. He listened. There was something there. But what happened after? Full circle. Devin's the champion now. He has all four belts. Loma, what you couldn't accomplish. Guess whose door he came knocking on? Devin Haney. Please, Devin, give me an opportunity to fight for all four of those belts. And Devin felt he was in a lose-lose. Devin said, I really don't want to give you a shot at my four belts. You didn't give me a shot at one belt. Why should I help you to try to achieve your dreams? Devin Haney. And Devin said, if I don't take the fight, everybody's going to say I was ducking you. But in reality, Devin had all the right to do that. But he knew that they were going to say, oh, Devin, you were scared of Loma. So Devin, he didn't have to do it because Loma didn't do it for him. Devin said, I'll give you the fight. And went in there and won. Whether you think he won or not, what's on paper? Who won that fight? I'll look it up. Oh shit, Devin Haney. 12 rounds. That's what it says right there. Did Loma become undisputed that night? Let me check again. No. So my opinion doesn't really matter. What I feel happened in that fight, that's history. I think it was a close fight between Devin and Loma. Real competitive. But if they're gonna give you a champion's nod, if you don't definitively beat the champion, and the guy has one belt, and the fight is close, it's gonna favor the champion. Those are the benefits of being the champion. So if the fight was close, shit, Devin wasn't a one belt champion. He had all four belts. What do you think four belts can do for you? Hmm? If the fight was close, I'm gonna go to the four belt champion, bro. You didn't do enough to definitively stamp your victory, Loma. No, you didn't. You didn't do that. You didn't dog walk Devin and they robbed you. No, that fight could have went either way. And if it was gonna go one way, it had to go to the champion side. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. I didn't care who won. Loma won, congratulations. If Devin won, congratulations. I really didn't care who won that fight. I was just a fan watching a good fight. I'm not Devin's not one of my favorite fighters or anything. I'm really not supposed to have a favorite fighter to tell you the truth because that's my rule to myself. Because I feel if I start picking favorite fighters, I won't be able to see the other guy. I won't be able to see him because I want my guy to win. The only fight that I've ever in my history of Round One Sports Talk taken out of pure heart and support was Xander. That's the only guy. I'm not taking Naoya Inoue out of pure heart and support. I'm taking Naoya Inoue because of skill. That's it. I believe I watch boxing to watch the best fighters in the world, and I'm curious who does it the best. That man is leading the way. If he's the best fighter in all of boxing, and I say he sucks or he's not good, what am I saying about boxing? For Jesus Christ. If he's the best that's doing it, there's no boxer right now as a whole in every attribute, everything. He can't be missing something. You understand? That as a whole, he's one of the most complete fighters in our era, period. Period. It's hard to even match him stylistically against anybody. Parents in his prime, great. Fit Saul was pretty decent, but Saul was always the same fighter. He just was a remarkable fighter. Where Saul accelerated was his ring IQ. His ring IQ is what got Saul to where he's at, right? But overall skills, Saul's not like these guys. He's not like Bam Rodriguez. Saul's not like, you know, a real technical. See, Saul has certain, like, the best fighters in the world can do everything. You're supposed to be able to do everything. Fight off the back foot, front with foot, going backwards to the right. You could switch if you had to. Not necessarily all fighters that are there have to switch, but that would be an extra bonus if you can do it. Um, so there's just a lot of qualifications for the best fighters in the world. You understand? So um, I think that Deron Boots Ennis definitely has the ability to start to get on that path. That he can make the world view his talent. He just hasn't had all the right dancing partners. He got a good one in Xander. That's a good start. Right there. You got Xander. I can't give you um what's his name there? The guy he fought with 15 and that was undefeated, Stanionis. I can't give you Stanionis with that much inactivity between 3 year spans, one fight, with 15 professional fights altogether. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't. And we were like forcing Stanionis to tell you the truth. To tell you the truth. Okay. And Karen got starched. So that fucked up Jerron Boots Ennis' record. But with Xander was undefeated. That always valuable. He had 2 belts. That's a valuable so that's a good start with him. But Duran got the best chances of making a real good run and putting some good names on his resume. You can beat Virgil, Sebastian Fundora, and Josh Kelly and be unified and remain undefeated. Now we're talking. Now, Jerron Boutsenis, your resume starts to look a bit better. A bit better. I'm not sure if you're going to catch Terrence Crawford. I'm not sure if we'll ever see that again. That's going to be nearly impossible to do. Uh, unless you went out through the divisions and got the belts yourself, you're going to need a guy up in the weight division to get all 4 belts and agree to fight you for everything on one night. What Tszyu did. That's not going to be easy. That is not good. I mean, I don't think we'll ever see that again in the history of boxing. 3 division, all 4 belts. Nah, that's going to be a record, one of those kind of records that survives for like 100 years. We're going to have to get like a remarkable talent that gets extremely lucky. You know, I think that the only way that Naoya Inoue was able to pull what he did, all 4 belts in 2 weight divisions, is because I believe Naoya Inoue had the perfect disguise in all of boxing. He had the best disguise ever. And he made his attack early before they all find out who he actually was. That's what catapulted Naoya anyway, because everybody was quick to fight him. Every time they showed the other fighter, the champions, that guy's picture, say, hey, this Japanese dude wants to fight you. 5'5". He had 7 professional fights. 7. This is what he looks like. Right? And this is what he looks like, right? So when you looked at him, you were like, "What the like this Japanese dude wants to fight me?" You know what I'm saying? Like he had the best disguise in all of boxing, and he fooled a lot of people. And I really believe that. I really believe that, and that's why he got all the fights he got. Because a lot of people thought, man, this 5'5" Japanese dude, when they saw his picture, they were like, bro, what is he gonna sing? Is he in a boy band? He didn't look like much, but boy, was he a killer. He's a killer. And before they found out what he was really about, he beat all these guys. When they started really realizing who Naoya Inoue was, remember when he went into the World Series there of boxing, where he fought for the Covenant Muhammad Ali trophy, when he entered that tournament, he wasn't signed to Top Rank. And the person that was supposed to win that tournament was Nonito Donati. Remember that. He was the top ranked one once a time on a pound for pound list. 3 division world champion. Nonito was getting up there in age, but look what he's doing now. It just goes to show you that even after he lost to Naoya Inoue in that tournament, he went on to be a world champion and he beat an undefeated Frenchman for that belt, a young fighter. He was like 20 some years old, 22, 23, some shit like that. That French dude, he was undefeated. And Nonito knocked him out. So it goes to show you how good of a fighter he still was. But nobody wanted to give that Japanese dude any credit. And look what happened. Look what's happening right now. He's got one of the most impressive boxing records I've ever seen. Bro, in video games, I can't do that shit. I can't do that shit in video games. PlayStation 5 won't let me do it. Every time you jump up through the division, it won't let you fight the champion right away. It tells you, no, you gotta you gotta beat some guys to get a title fight. I know he went up to 4 weight divisions and fought champion after champion after champion and used each of them as a stepping stone. Like, we fucked up, bro. U.S. fucked up, bro. We needed to send somebody to stop him, bro. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's one of the most remarkable fighters in the world for a reason. I really don't care what his skin color is or what his nationality is. I don't give two shits. Is he a man? Yes. Is he fighting like that? Yes. And do I see him? Yes, I see you. Huh. You are the best fighter we have today, hands down, skill wise. Yes, absolutely. Naoya Inoue is just the best fighter we have. There's no other fighter that can do what he does. No. Everything he does, no. There's some fighters that have similar traits, and there are actually some fighters that are better than him in certain situations, in fact, but not as a whole. Shakur's better than him in certain things. He might be. Terrence Crawford's better than him in certain things. He might be. But as a whole, um, we add tally up all everything. No, Naoya Inoue is the best. That's why I consider him the best. Because when you start to break down everything, speed, ring IQ, jab, fundamentals, footwork, I mean everything, he's eventually going to beat your favorite guy. He's solid. Solid, bro. Naoya Inoue. And of course, you're going to get hit in fights. He's been dropped twice, which makes it interesting. Which makes it interesting that you think a guy like that can be hurt. Look, he got dropped. He made a technical error in the price. No, there's no question about that. No question. Just beat him. Just beat him. These guys are actually celebrating just knockdowns. That's how powerful a fighter he is. That they're getting parties thrown in their name. Women are having their children behind knocking him down, not beating him. That, that's that's how great of a fighter he is. And you can become Roman Cardenas and get that much love and already be in a main event because you were able to put that kind of fighter down at least. Shit. Just that alone. That's how serious that guy is. If you really think about it, that's how serious he is. And everybody's saying Bam Rodriguez can beat him. But they don't talk about the time Bam Rodriguez got dropped in a fight. It seems like whenever it's convenient for the fighting fan to boost up their fighter, they get amnesia. They get amnesia when it comes to telling the truth. Mhm. Mhm. That'll happen. So look, man, guys, I wanted to hop on real quick with Japan dude. Which Japan dude? Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue, bro. He's the best fighter Japan has. He's the best fighter they have. So look, fight fans. Um, it's been a good day. Don't worry, Edwin. Bam Bam's going to up to 122. Yo, Rich man, that's who I got. Giving Naoya Inoue the hell of a fight is Bam Rodriguez, but I want it to be fair, Rich. I like Naoya Inoue, but fuck that. You gotta give this Mexican guy his the proper. Come on, man, make it fair for Mexico. I just want to see a competitive fight. I don't want to see one guy getting rushed into it. And I think Naoya Inoue, he's all for it, right? Because he knows they're rushing, and Bam struggled at 118, and he still hadn't got to 122. He still hadn't got to 122. So, Rich, I'm with you. I think that if you allow Bam to acclimate and move like Bam Rodriguez, boy, that would be a better fight now, wouldn't it, guys? Right? So I just want it to be competitive. I don't want Naoya to get a watered down version of Bam. No, I don't want that. Because I want Bam to actually be the guy that tries to beat Naoya Inoue and brings Naoya Inoue to that kind of fight. Thought Junto was going to do it but it was like two fucking swordsmen, a mongoose and a fucking cobra. They were just equally fast and they were smart. They weren't falling for traps. That was a real skilled, high level test match right there. With Bam Rodriguez, I think he'll go in the inside. He's a much better inside fighter than Naoya Inoue. You know, and that's where Bam's qualities lie on the inside. He can hurt Naoya Inoue on the inside. Bam Rodriguez. He's got good footwork and he can deceive Naoya Inoue, law him into a big punch. But I need Bam to move like Bam Rodriguez in order for that to happen. You know, I just don't want the fight rush. I'm all about competition. You guys should know me by now. I might like certain fighters, but nah, fuck that. Let's get a real squabble. What good is it if Naoya Inoue just beats everybody? And they keep putting him in these situations where he's favored. We've seen those kind of careers. I'm not saying that Naoya Inoue's career is like that. No, but I don't like those situations. I'm a real warrior, and I only advocate for real warrior shit. If I'm advocating for this guy, it's really because he's doing warrior shit. I'm not ignoring the fucking the the unfairness. You understand? Fairness. That's it. Real competition. Beat me at the top of my game, and I'll see you there. So, fight fans, thank you for tuning in here at another edition here of Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. And where do all fights start?
Round one.
I gotta go, gentlemen. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Please reach down, man. It costs you nothing. Just hit the like for your boy, man. Show your support. Thank you. I'll see you.